Keystone Cops.
What's going on, guys? So this is part two. I told you guys I would tell you about what we know about this collaboration to the best of our knowledge at this point. So if you're not familiar, this is the Strider .75 AR. There were some comments a ways back, and if I can find them, I'll include them in here. You guys know I like to show you what I'm saying and not just talk. But there were some comments about the AR .75 looking like a Medford. That led to some comments about that were posted in the Medford Facebook group by a guy that claimed he had a friend who works at Medford and saw Strider knives in the shop, like a significant number of knives, and alluded to the fact that Striders were being at least assembled, if not made, in the shop. Now, again, that's where the word collaboration kind of gets a little bit funny, because we don't know if these were made by Medford or if they were assembled by Medford. You know, we don't know what the exact collaboration was. That led to Josh making a comment that said, you know, yes, they did collaborate with Medford, and they also were working on a 3/4 GB as well as a few other knives. But not to worry, because they were, 100% handmade, kind of a, unconcerned type of stance to take about the situation. Yeah, we collaborated. What's the big deal? They're both American companies, blah, 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 move on. That kind of people continued because they didn't like the fact they weren't informed about the collaboration. And that led to a second comment by Josh, who, if you don't know, I keep saying Josh. Josh is like the general manager of M. Strider, the guy that you go to if you want to know anything or have a question answered. He then made a comment about going to eat lunch and going to Chick-fil-A, and basically, did he have to ask permission to eat at Chick-fil-A, alluding to the situation about telling about the collaboration. So again, another kind of, passive aggressive, snide, kind of snub to the people. But then he circled back around a few days later and made a what's appeared to be a fairly sincere post that said, he's seen the comments, he's heard the concerns, and at this point, please add in your comments, tell me what your concerns are specifically, and or how we may address them. And please leave out all the memes and the nonsense comments, which it's sad that had to be said, but if you've ever been over to that Facebook group, you know why he had to say that. And sure enough, it started off, people were leaving, genuine, I don't appreciate the fact we weren't informed. I want to be an informed consumer type comments, et cetera, which quickly degraded into people posting memes and people having, childish things to say, so on and so forth. People that, by the way, probably didn't even buy an AR .75, but that's besides the point. And at this point, we are kind of waiting to see what is going to be the result of this conversation following the collaboration we didn't know about. Josh did also make mention, and again, if I can find that, I'll put it up here, that they had been planning to tell people, but they were planning to tell people at Blade Show. Now that, that came before the, hey guys, tell me what all you guys' concerns are, so I can address them post. But that kind of hit me in a weird way, because if you did a drop at SHOT, you did a drop here in the past 2 weeks on your website, you didn't think it was a big deal, you meaning the company, didn't think it was a big deal to talk about a collaboration then. I don't get why you would do 2 drops, it not be a big deal, but you're also planning to make a large showing of the collaboration at Blade. I don't know. That timeline just seemed a little bit out of whack to me. If it wasn't a big deal and you were just moving along as business as usual, and it was just, a collaboration, we needed to get knives out, they had shop space, we were able to collaborate, no big deal. But then you're going to do a large presentation at Blade to kind of highlight the collaboration. That just, I don't know. And it could very well be true, but that doesn't make logical sense in my opinion. So we're waiting to see kind of what happens. It does sound like the GB .75 is coming out because that already was in the works. And he says apparently there might be another collaboration or two that they already had lined up. So we'll have to see what's gonna go on. I think he made a comment, and again, I'll have to go back and see that any further collaborations will be announced ahead of time before people have a chance to buy the knives. So that is kind of in a nutshell what the whole collaboration is about. We still don't know if collaboration means the knives were made and assembled in Medford shop, or if they were just assembled in the shop. We don't know if any of Strider's guys, MDOT Strider's guys were in the shop working with them. We don't know. That's kind of vague and unclear. And I know that's kind of taken a secondary place to just people wanting to have known about it before they purchased. But that's kind of where we stand at this point, and I guess we'll have to see how they move forward. So I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.